Actually, you kind of touched on maybe what the answer might be a little bit in your last one, but I was hoping you could help me with something that I'm dealing with. So be a little bit vulnerable. So love public speaking, love Growth Club, no issue there. Work with a couple of charities, no issues, and talk to them about, donating or volunteering time, anything like that. But for some reason, and I can always push through it, that's okay, and know the questions to ask, but I always feel a tinge of something, like when I'm trying to sell something.
Got it.
And so I'm perfectly capable of pushing through it, but I don't like that I feel it because I do believe in what I'm doing. I love coaching, it's fun. But I just don't feel it when I'm talking to a friend or a family member or at a networking thing. I don't feel that at all.
Oh.
But when I go to sell, I do it. So I was hoping maybe you could help me.
Yeah. So two things. The first thing you learn in coaching is you listen for the words. So 4 times you said, I have no issue with public speaking. Therefore, there is an issue there. We don't know how deep it is or how big it is, but there is a level of an issue there. Does that make sense to you, okay? So if I was in a coaching mode with you right now, I would actually say, whoa, let's get into that one just for a little bit, shall we? So, and we can dive into the depths of that. Now, what happens in sales, because you use the term sales multiple times again, there is somewhere, somehow, sometimes someone gave you a negative image of the word sales or the job sales or the position of sales. And at some point, we're going to have to reframe that in your brain. Because a great salesperson is actually the most professional person in the room in most cases. Because what a great salesperson does is professionally assist people to buy. So when you are professionally helping people, like let's imagine you're working for a doctor, right? And you're selling cancer cures because people come to you with cancer and they ask you, can you cure my cancer? And the doctor says, well, you have to talk to Aaron. He's going to handle you joining us. He's the person that you talk to. I'm going to be your doctor, but you have to talk to Aaron first. Do you have a challenge talking to James about his cancer getting treated and saving his life and the price of having his life saved?
Not at all.
So, and again, the language is not at all. So there's a depth to all of these things, and thank you for being vulnerable in this scenario. There's a depth to all of these things that we would dive into in depth. See, business coaching is half the business and half the coaching. It's like I got to deal with the human issues before I can deal with the business issues. If I don't deal with the human issues, the business issues are going to keep recurring. It's like patterns that keep going. Like one of the guys on the course this weekend, his pattern was accepting everyone says, can you do this? Yes, and then not getting most of it done. Like that was his pattern, and we had to interrupt his pattern and do that, okay? So in our business, we actually don't sell. We coach. And the way we coach or onboard someone is by sitting and learning about them and them sitting and learning about us. The first meeting you have with someone will be either by phone or at networking or something, and all you do at that meeting is ask them to have a cup of coffee or a sandwich or whatever it is you want to do with that person, depending upon your relationship with them. It might be have a beer with them. It doesn't really matter. And then all you're going to do is sit and learn about them and their business. And you're going to spend 15, 20, 30 minutes learning about them and their business and relating it back to you. If they tell you about their dog, you're going to talk about your dog. If they mention their football team, you're going to mention your football team. You're just going to get to know each other. You're not even going to talk about what you do, how you do it. All you're going to do is build a relationship with another human being and get to find out what is it about them that is important. And at the end of that, you're going to grab the check for the coffee. And then you're going to hand them a questionnaire and an information kit and say, hey, this is what we do. I'm going to be over your way on Thursday seeing another client. Whatever day. I'll be over your way on Thursday seeing another client. And I'd like to drop in and take a look at the business. I want to get a feel for your culture. I want to get a bit of an understanding as to what it all looks like and how it works together and what you guys do, and get to know a bit about the business and pick up the questionnaire. This questionnaire, I need you to fill it in. It's 5 pages. You'll see 4 pages are pretty easy type thing. There'll be some stuff you don't know, and that's okay. Most people can fill in about half of it. But the back page is 28 tick boxes. I just need you to pick 5 of those, so when we actually meet later on and talk in depth, I know the 5 areas that you need the most help with straight away. You leave them with the questionnaire, and the information kit talks about you, about company. It's got a book in it. It's got stuff so they get to know us. It's got some links to our, information on YouTube, and so they can watch all the YouTube videos that I've done that are about what is business coaching. What Google tells us very clearly today, they did a study called ZMOT, the zero moment of truth, meaning, moment of truth is about when you first meet with them. Well, the zero moment of truth is what happens before someone meets with you. What research are they going to do prior to meeting with you? And they're going to, right? If you look at the way people buy today or the way people search today, there's 3 main things they use to search. If you're ready to buy, you go to Amazon. If you're researching buying, you go to Google. If you want to learn how to do something, you go to YouTube. So they're your 3 main searches. But what the zero moment of truth study showed is that on average, people want to do 7 hours of research, 11 touch points in 4 locations before making a purchase decision. Our onboarding process just happens to have been the same for 20 years. It's 13 steps, it's 7 touch points, and it's about 7 hours. So our seminar that we give to people is a 3-hour event, so it speeds the process up. Our webinars are a 90-minute event, so it speeds the process up. Our videos, I just happen to have created 5, 6 videos online that people can watch, which is about 4 hours of what is coaching, who is Action Coach, how does business coaching work, what will you coach me in, how will I get results, how will I grow as a coaching client. Like, it takes them through and walks them through that. So you've had a coffee, you come to my business, right? You come into my business and you say, hey, show me around. And you shake hands with people that work there. And you take notice of them. You're going to study the DISC profiling tool and the visual auditory kinesthetic profiling tool, and you'll walk around and you'll notice, let me take a look around the room. Everything's neat and in order in its exact same place. Highly organized C tendencies with visual tendencies. Everything's a pile of stuff, right? It's all piled on. It's wherever it is. And so you're going to notice those things about the people in the organization. You're going to ask silly little questions like, hey, what's this machine? How much did it cost you? And you're going to ask 2 actual questions while you're there. Question 1. So why am I here? Why do you feel you need a business coach? Why do you see you need a business coach? Why do you think, or why do you, using the visual auditory kinesthetic? And they're going to answer that for you. And gradually you're going to get to know a little bit about that. And you're going to keep digging deeper. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, how does that work? Oh, yeah? Tell me more. Oh, what made you think that? And you're going to push them for 5-10 minutes on that subject until it gets it all out. And it hits emotion. It hits like, dude, I missed my kid's baseball game the other day. I have to work. I don't get to see. I was away on a trip when my kid had their birthday. And, I'm a firm believer if they're crying, they're buying. If I hit emotion, then I've gone far enough. If I don't hit emotion, I'm trying to sell logic, I'm not getting there. And you're going to ask the second question. And the second question is, so share with me, James, why would I want to be your mentor? Why would I want to be your coach? So now I'm pricing. The price is not your business. Your $3,000 a month, don't mean jack shit to me ultimately. The hundreds of thousands or millions in capital value I will make you for your business when you sell it, that's the price. I am the price. You being allowed to have me as your coach is the price. See, if one of you got cancer, let's say, God forbid, and you found out from one of your friends who the best cancer person in the state was, in the country, how much would you give to get an appointment with that person, with that doctor? How much would you call in favors, drive there, fly there, camp out? You would do whatever it took to get them to see you, yes? So you are that doctor from now on. When it comes to business, you're the business doctor. You are the prize. They are not the prize. There's a million companies you can coach. There's a million business owners struggling out there. And why would I want you? Why would I want to be your coach? As the second question. You finish that meeting, you wrap it up. They've probably offered you a coffee, and even if you don't drink coffee, guess what you're going to do? You're going to take whatever the shit they give you because you're building a relationship, preferably water, but, whatever it is. But you're going to be their coach. From the moment you meet them, you're asking questions. From the moment you meet them, you're their coach for the rest of their life. I am your coach. Even if you don't pay me, I am your coach. You don't let them take charge, them take control. They're used to being in charge, used to being in control. A great coach takes control. All right, James, grab out your notepad and pen. I want you to take some notes about what we're going to do right here today. What did I just do? I took control. And you know I'm in control, and you know what I'm going to do. So then from there, they've got the questionnaire. You're going to go do your homework. You're going to research their industry. You're going to look at their website, their competitors' websites. You might mystery shop them. You're going to do at least an hour or 2 hours homework. In the beginning, you're going to have to make up in time what you lack in experience and skill. So you'll do more homework because you've never worked with that industry before. That means you're going to have to do 3, 4, 5 hours homework on that industry because you don't know. And how do you know you've done enough homework? You've got 12 questions written out about that particular industry, that particular type of business, their competitors, their industry's problems, their website, etc., etc. And with that level of homework, because if you don't do that level of homework, how can I perceive that you actually give a shit about me? I want to perceive that you care about me. So then you do a coach on deck call. You actually do a coaching session with them. And it's a short coaching session. It's only a half hour. And at the end of that coaching session, you're going to give them a piece of homework. Now, during that coaching session, we're going to make sure that they have done their homework. And their homework is learning how to buy. Have they watched the videos? Have they done the stuff? You're going to prep them. There's a script for it. You'll get all that, and people tell you exactly what to say. But you're going to leave them with some homework. And their homework is going to be measuring something. Either average sale or number of, or conversion rate or number of leads. Something. Don't give them 5 things to measure, give them 1. Don't try and do too much, and that's what a lot of new coaches do. They try and add too much value too fast, all right? And so you'll realize less is more, because if you give them 5 pieces of homework and they do 1, they feel like they've ripped you off and ripped themselves off. If you give them 1 piece of homework and they get it done, they feel like they're getting full value from the training. If I give them 10 books, they can't read 10 books. I had to give them 1 ebook to begin with. It's 8 pages. They can do it. Gradually, I can speed them up and get them doing more type thing. And then I come sit down with them, I do a diagnostic. They've ticked the 5 boxes. I know what 5 areas they want. I've given you the exact script that you need to follow. It shows it to you right up front, the positioning statement. Here's the 4 things we're going to do in this meeting. I get them talking openly and I get them moving, and then we hit the 5 points and I dig deep on each of the 5 points. And I'm building my presentation rocket, which is telling me 2 things. I got to do their numbers and I got to know what we're starting with when we start coaching. I'm using languaging the whole time like, well, when we get started with coaching, because I never assume anything other than we're starting coaching. The only decision is what level. If you've gone to a meeting with me to have coffee, I've come to your business, you've shown me around for an hour, we've done a coaching session, and I've come to meet you, the only thing you can do from there is talk them out of it. The only way you can mess it up is to talk them out of it or not have a product offering that is suitable to their budget. If they're a tiny little business and all they can afford is $100 a month, you better have a book club or a profit club running so they can afford $100 a month. Profit club to you is the same hourly rate as one-to-one coaching once you fill it. Okay? The highest hourly rate is actually things like Action Club and membership. They're the highest hourly rate you'll get until you're 3 to 5 years in coaching and you start charging $5,000 a month, and then you get onto the CEO coaching at $10,000 a month and corporate business coaching at $10,000 a month. Those ones, yeah. I'm working with one CEO. It's $10,000 a month. How often do you work with them? Once a month for a couple hours. They can call any time with any problem, but once a month for a couple hours is when we work together. and they want to pay 10 grand a month. You know what? Because they want to brag to their buddies that they can afford a $10,000 a month coach. And 9 times out of 10, it's not their business. They're working for someone else. They're a CEO of a division of John Deere. And John Deere says, hang on, you want to coach me for $2 grand a month? I'm CEO of a $100 million division of John Deere. What's wrong with you? You want $2 grand a month? Small business sees $2 grand a month is a lot of money. Big business goes, there's something wrong with $2 grand a month. $2 grand an hour? Okay, I can understand that. $2 grand a month? Too cheap. So you go through the diagnostic and you do the evaluation and you learn their numbers, the 5 ways, and you present back to them their numbers of what the numbers can do over the next 12 months, because people need logic to be able to buy. And then you're going to go through, here's what we're going to do in the first 90 days of your coaching. So let's get started with that. Be crazy not to give it a shot. Okay, is it okay if I cover what we need to do to get started? Trial close. Great. What day of the week is it best for you to do coaching? Tuesday or Thursday? They're the 2 days I coach. Tuesdays. Fantastic. Let me run us through the paperwork and then get you your information kit so you know what we need to do to get started. You've just coached them. You haven't sold them a dang thing. But you've coached them into the best decision they'll ever make in their life, which is to get a coach. Because we know what happens if they don't. I don't want you to ever be 5 years down the road of meeting someone that you met with them early on and you weren't prepped enough and you weren't on your game enough and you didn't get them to join coaching. And 5 years later, you meet that same guy or that same gal and they're still working the tools and they're still struggling. Because if you let them go, they're going to be same position or worse 5 years from now. We know them statistics. That's just the statistics for business. So you got to get them. You got to save them. As the Indonesian team say, when they onboard a client, they don't say signed another client. They say, we saved another one. You know the old starfish thing, threw a starfish back? Save another one.
That resonates. Thank you. Welcome.